Hey guys, so I'm driving back home from one of my little flights, my little lessons, if you will. I mean, I'm soloing now, so I guess it's still a lesson because we're always learning, but there's not anyone sitting in the seat with me. And I thought I'd just chat at you because it's a 45-minute drive. It's funny, I literally live 3 miles away from an airport, my home airport, which is where the plane is that I'm working on. But I take my flight lessons from an airport that's 45 minutes away by car, because that's where I could find somebody who would fly with me. But anyways, I thought I would address a couple comments and concerns that people had brought up. One was that someone felt that I was being a little harsh on vans in my last video. After rewatching it a couple times, I can see how you might think that I was harsh on the fact that, the way the kit was incomplete and maybe that the pattern written on the outside of the box was a little harsh. Okay, I didn't mean it to be overly harsh. It was more observation than anything. The missing part, which was just a baggie of rivets, was no big deal, and I thought I even said that it was no big deal. And when I got on the phone to them and told them, hey, the part was missing, they were awesome, and they just sent them. I mean, I've already got them. They've already got the replacement. So I didn't mean for that to sound harsh. With regard to scrawling the pattern on the exterior of the box, I do think that was really chintzy and crap. I would almost prefer they had not done that at all because it just looks bad. I mean, just from a PR standpoint, it doesn't look good. Unless that had been very professionally scrawled on there, or just, looked much better than it was. It just looked bad. So, even though that one, again, it came across harsh, I didn't mean it to be overly harsh. I just meant it more as an observation, and my opinion, right? This whole thing it's all my opinion. So, thought I'd address that. The other one was someone had brought up whether or not I would be willing to have folks come out and help me and just see the process and basically have kind of an impromptu class. Sure, I don't mind. I think it would be a little bit of, two blind mice leading one another kind of thing, because there's, I'm not a professional. This is me doing this by reading the plans and then filming it as I do it. If somebody wants to come out and partake in that fiasco and maybe, experience that, yes, you can do it, sure, come on out. I have no problem with that. Send me a message or something like that and we'll schedule something. The simple fact of the matter is I think a lot of people are leery of starting a project of this scope and scale, and in fact I get emails to that effect all the time, because it just seems so vast, so monumentally vast. And I get it. I really get it. I had a hard time in the very beginning, before I got my empennage kit, deciding whether or not this is something I could actually do. It seems really, really scary. It's not. It's really not. In fact, the RV-10 is such that if you can follow instructions, or at least so far my experience is, if you can follow instructions, you can do it. And the instructions are well done for the most part. I mean, like I said, I have found a couple errors in the plans, but they were always really minor, and you could always intuit and see what it was they were talking about and figure it out. No, they meant this. I'm trying to think if there's anything that's super scaring me at this point. Honestly, the build itself does not scare me at all anymore, especially after going back and going back over the empennage and looking at the full plan. Now that I've already done it, I was like, oh, this was so easy, and it was really, really easy. I've said this before, it's sort of like IKEA, right? If you can put tab A and slot B over and over and over again, you can build this airplane. For me, the only thing that, I don't want to use the term scares me, but I don't know, it's something that I'm leery of at this point, is the engine and the electronics, or the power and the wiring and all that, because I just don't know that stuff. And so that's something that I'm a little concerned about. But I mean, I was concerned about building the plane. Now that I've done it, it's no big deal. I was concerned about fiberglass. Now that I've done it, it's no big deal. I'm sure the plane, I mean, the engine and the electronics and the avionics and all that other stuff is going to be the same way. You know, my father always said, it's easy if you know how. Well, there you go. So, coming full circle, I didn't mean to be overly harsh on Vans. Sorry, Vans, that was not my intent. It was more my observations. I'll try to be more cognizant of how I come across, and maybe less abrupt. Maybe a little more tact would be good. And then the other is, if someone wants to come out and partake, sure. You know, let's plan it. Let's make a time when we can come out. Generally, it would be a weekend kind of thing, and we'd have to, you know, it'd only be a couple hours is all I generally work a day, you know, 2 to 3 hours. But if you're willing to make the trip and you want to just hang out and chat, come on down. I'll put you to work. All right, guys, I'm gonna drive.